Aristotle's concept of ekphrasis has to do with using words to bring an image, usually a work of art, vividly before the reader's mind's eye. This technique can be used in speeches and arguments to engage listeners, but Simon Goldhill points out that in such situations, ekphrasis can also serve as a rhetorical weapon to get around the censor of the intellect. Visualization amazes. In so doing, visualization conceals facts. Perhaps the most common type of ekphrastic writing, however, is poetry. Ekphrastic poems attempt to creatively represent a work of art. John Keats's poem Ode on a Grecian Urn is one classic example of this. In it, the narrator imagines what it would be like to actually be one of the figures on the urn. While the concept of adapting a work of literature to film may at first seem like merely a variation of ekphrasis, it turns out that ekphrasis should not be confused with adaptation, the act of creating a work of art based on another work in its entirety. As in Keats's poem, ekphrasis tends to take its inspiration from the source material, but then produce a wholly new result. Adaptation, on the other hand, must in some sense retain the identifying features of the original work. Concluding with two examples from film adaptations of Pride and Prejudice will help show the different ways adaptations try to represent a source book. According to an article by Camilla Elliott, this first clip shows fidelity to the novel, in which filmmakers take the original novel as a signified and try to represent it by filmic signifiers.
In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you.
Another type of adaptation claims that fidelity to the spirit of the text is more important. Eliot says that this view is almost always accompanied by an insistence on the necessity of infidelity to the book's letter or form. This clip is an example of the same scene adapted in this second style.
Miss Elizabeth, I have struggled in vain and I can bear it no longer. These past months have been a torment. I came to Rosings with the single object of seeing you. I had to see you. I have fought against my better judgment, my family's expectation, the inferiority of your birth, my rank and circumstance, all these things, and I'm willing to put them aside and ask you to end my agony.
I don't understand.
I love you.
While ekphrasis and adaptation share some characteristics, they are ultimately quite different concepts.